Yeah, let me see, is the music still too loud? Back off the music. There we go. Well, that's better. Okay. Anyways, yeah, being serious here, there's breaking news right now happening as I am streaming. I'm not kidding. This is real. Where's my... Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I actually posted it in Discord just a minute ago. Breaking news. There's a guy in Tupelo, Mississippi, or in that area about... He stole a plane, and now he is threatening to crash it into the Tupelo, Mississippi Walmart. It sounds hilarious, but it's actually pretty serious. Because I took a look at the plane, and this is not a small plane, man. This isn't like a little, one of those little tiny planes where it's like it seats like two people and it runs on a propeller. No, this is a good sized plane, man. This could actually get pretty bad. In fact, let me see if I can bring up the video here for you guys of the reported plane. Here, okay, let me, I don't know, pause. Okay, yeah, this is a good sized plane. Let me, where's my little source here? Here we go. Okay, this is the plane apparently that's being flown by this guy. This is kind of insane. I apologize, the quality may not be great, but this is as big as we can get it. Here we go. Yeah, that's the plane. Now it's not gone down yet as far as we understand. But that is a video of the plane that he's flying. And as you can see, it's not like a little cheesy little plane. It's a good sized plane, man. If that thing crashes into a building, it can cause some very, very serious damage. That's yeah, there's been other videos going on here too. Let me see if I can find some other ones. But yeah, this is kind of insane right now, dude. And there's all kinds of reports flying all over Twitter about it's this person or it's that person. There's been a lot of names that have been thrown out there. Apparently, they think it's somebody named Corey Patterson. Again, that's unconfirmed. Unconfirmed. I don't know if it's this person. But I'm seeing here from a guy named over on Twitter called Dejan Jackson says, the guy from Tupelo is flying over my hometown, Ripley, Mississippi right now. Don't know who the guy is that Twitter is posting, but actual guy flying is believed to be named Corey Patterson. Let me bring this tweet up. And again, this is all stuff I'm getting off Twitter, so, take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, apparently, yeah, this is from Afrocodes. That's a great Twitter name. But yeah, they think it's somebody named Corey Patterson. And this is an actual message on his Facebook post. It says, sorry everyone, never actually wanted to hurt anyone. I love my parents and sisters. This isn't your fault. Goodbye. Ooh, that's bad. Yeah, that's very, very, very bad. Ooh, yeah, I hope they get him down safely. I don't know. Apparently, the police and everybody are talking to him in the plane right now. So, yeah, that's kind of insane. Question, where did he get the plane? Apparently, he stole it. He stole it from an airport or a landing field, as far as I know. Let me see what it says. Oh, he has some other stuff here. Just to clarify, I know there is another name circulating on Twitter. However, no local news stations have officially released the name. I am from that area, and the name that seems to be circulating around our community is Corey Patterson. Okay, so it looks like Dejan Jackson, who says he's from that area, is saying that this guy is the one that's... I mean, and this actually looks like, wow, okay, this is not good. This is definitely not good. And just so you all know, I'm not laughing at this at all. This is actually very serious. This is, and like I said, because that's not a small plane. Whew, I really do hope they can get him down. Yeah, because this is like some serious breaking news. Here, we'll go to Tupelo again. And again, I'm not actually canvassing any of this data first, so there may be some weird pictures and stuff y'all see here. So I apologize if anything is offensive. Yeah, this is the post from the guy again. See, exactly same thing from that other post, word for word. Um, yeah, basically, apparently he posted to Facebook 15 minutes ago. So he's probably got his phone with him. Yeah, is there a reason why we're not calling that guy Tupelo who stole a plane and is threatening to crash into a civilian building, attempting mass murder? Or, oh my gosh, okay, yeah, that's. I don't think he sounds like he's looking to eliminate himself, if you know what I mean. I have to be very careful with what I say because YouTube will flag it. Um, but yeah, it looks like it's more him just wanting to kind of take care of himself. Well, he will eventually run out of fuel, yes, and that's why they're trying to get him down. Let me see what else. Oh, here's from ABC News. This is the breaking from ABC News. Let's see. Yeah, the pilot of a small plane is threatening to intentionally crash into a Walmart in Tupelo. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not playing that video. Yeah, the Tupelo Police Department said in a statement Saturday, police said they are speaking with the pilot directly. Police were notified that a pilot on an airplane, possibly at King Air Type. King Air Type. I kind of want to look that up now. Okay, so it is a larger than average passenger plane. Well, that's a Beechcraft King Air. So it could be something similar. I mean, it has at least 2 propellers, so it is a larger plane. But yeah, that's kind of to give you an idea. Civilian utility craft. Yeah, it's a pretty good sized plane. So if you were to crash it into a building or something, you could cause some pretty bad damage there. Okay. Let's see. The pilot made contact with E911 and is threatening to crash intentionally. Police have worked with Walmart and nearby Dodges to evacuate the stores and disperse people as much as possible. Police and all emergency services in the area are on alert. Citizens are asked to avoid the area until an all clear is given. With the mobility of an airplane of that type, the danger zone is much larger than even Tupelo. That is very true. So it is a smaller plane, but it is a bigger, smaller plane, if that makes sense. Yeah, because there's just, you know, very, very tiny, like, biplanes that you can get with, like, a single propeller, and it's basically just, like, you and, like, one other passenger. Those are tiny little planes. This plane is bigger. Unfortunately, yeah, I can't really zoom in on that. That's not a great picture, but, yeah. They're kind of tracking him right now as far as where he's going. Let's see, another leads to Twitter again. Okay, what's with this pic here? Okay, yeah, he's just kind of flying in circles, it looks like right now. Toop toop. They're not going to. I'm actually slightly surprised that a fighter jet, and I know this may seem like overkill to some of y'all, but again, I'm actually slightly surprised that a fighter jet has not been deployed. I think they're just looking to try and settle this without doing that. Yeah, because once the Air Force, the U.S. Air Force, gets a fighter plane into the mix, I don't think it's going to end very well for anybody at that point. Maybe they could send it up there and be like, hey, just come back down, But yeah, this is pretty insane. I think this is just kind of them going over the situation again, as to avoid the area. Yeah, okay. But yeah, that's what's going on. Oh, here we go. There you go. So, oh wow, you can actually fit quite a few people in that plane. Let me see. You got your pilot, your co-pilot, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You could fit about 10 people in that plane. This I'm saying is going to probably be storage. This is storage, and this is storage. But that is, like I said, that's a pretty good sized plane, man. It can, if you crash that into something, it can cause some pretty serious damage. That is not a small plane. Wow. So yeah, this morning has started off to be kind of insane. That's America for you. Okay, so yeah, that's God, man. And of course, the weird thing is, well, I mean, the whole thing is weird. But one of the other weird things that is kind of expected is that people are already saying, oh, he's a Trump supporter, he's this and that. There is no confirmation that this has anything to do with politics. I want to be very clear about that. There is nothing here that states that he's doing this for any sort of political reason, as far as we know right now. So anybody thinking that he's a Trump supporter or whatever, just let's not even think of that right now, because we simply don't know. Yeah, this is pretty insane, man. Governor Tate Reeves, yeah, that's the governor of Mississippi. Just nuts, man. Just absolutely insane. I'm gonna keep following this, obviously. Let me see. Let me do this again. Let me see. It's still developing. Of course, people already making jokes. It's like, come on, don't. Let's not do that right now. Oh my god. See, again, people already making jokes about this. That's kind of uncool. Let's not do that. Even if it does turn out that he is like a hardcore, MAGA Republican or whatever, let's not do that. It's just kind of crazy, man. He's down. Oh my gosh. Okay. It says here he's down. Just froze on flight radar at low altitude. Okay, where exactly? This is not. I don't think this is confirmation. It's just showing that this is where they lost him. So apparently but which of these two planes is it? Or is it this right here? Okay, it looks... Well, there's a little lake over there. Okay, so apparently this is now him possibly being down? Okay, I'm still going through these. Sensitive media... Oh, here we go. Another person saying they think the plane is down. Now, of course, obviously this isn't confirmed, but... Yeah. Should the national defense assets be dispatched to shoot down a stolen aircraft? That's kind of what I was just saying. Again, they're doing the whole dark Brandon thing. Come on, guys, let's not joke at a time like this. Corey Patterson. Oh, Tupelo Airport employee. So that's how he had his access. So he's an employee there. Pilot of stolen plane threatening to crash into one. Okay. Dedicated to parents and sister goes viral. Wow. So apparently he works at the airport. So now we know how he got onto the whatchamacallit? Onto the airfield. That's kind of nuts. Now the guy, I don't think there's anything saying here that he's actually a pilot, or a licensed pilot. Oh no, wait, here. Is Corey Patterson Tupelo Airport employee and pilot? Oh, he's just pilot of stolen plane. Okay. It's not confirming that he's a pilot. Anyways, I'll keep an eye on that. Oh wait, hold on. Looks like, okay, another person saying that they think the plane is down in an unpopulated area. That's actually good. If it's down in an unpopulated, he may have just tried to do like a emergency landing. If that's indeed what he did, that's actually good. Oh, look, here we go. He crashed into some trees. Now, obviously, we don't know if he's okay. I guess we'll have to keep watching for that. Obviously, he didn't go and try and crash into an actual populated area, so thankful for that. Because, yeah, I mean, he could have, like I said, he could have caused some very serious damage. He could have crashed into a neighborhood. He could have crashed into an apartment building. But nah, he kind of saw what he was doing, and he went ahead and put down here in these trees. So he may have killed a deer, but that's about it. I think we'll be okay. It's not a joke. Why would people say that it's because of politics? The guy's clearly in distress. Yes, he's in distress. You know how people are, though, man. People are like that. They immediately want to assume the worst of people. Now, like I said, again, it could come out that that is in fact what's going on, but at this point, there's absolutely really no way to know. So, I guess the police are heading out there, right? Oh my gosh, gee, that's... don't do that! That's mean. Ooh, what's... Okay, this is the other person that they thought it was, but it was not this person. Yeah, they were saying that this is not him. Yeah, new Fed boy just spawned in Tupelo. Okay, this is not him. This is not that person. So, yeah. Ooh, okay, some more video. Yeah, it's all kind of... Oh my god, that's... With the jokes again. They're making jokes about. Okay. Well, we're gonna move on from this because, like I said, it was breaking news. The plane's down. We'll keep an eye on it. I'll check back on Twitter every now and then. But now let's get to the actual stuff that we're here to actually discuss. Weren't ever really meant to cover this, but it was breaking news. Where should we start? I guess we'll start with Pokemon to try and move on to something a bit more positive. Yeah, let's start with a little Pokemon here. Pokemon Sword and Shield, how to get Ash's Gengar. Apparently there's a free code for a Gengar. Pokemon Company is giving away another member of Ash's Pokemon team. From now until September 15th, Pokemon fans can get Ash's Dragonite by using... What? Okay, why is it saying... Okay, this is weird. Pokemon fans can get Ash's Dragonite by using the code Gengar... Or Gengar... Yeah, whatever that is. In the mystery gift menu. Okay, this is a level 80 Gengar. Okay, so I guess the editing wasn't very good there. It's a Gengar. Yeah, they're giving away a Gengar. Level 80 Gengar with the moves Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, Dazzling Gleam. Wow, Dazzling Gleam. Okay, and Will-O-Wisp. You don't really see too many ghost types like Gengar with Dazzling Gleam. I mean, some of them you can get, some of them can get it, but yeah, like a Gengar usually doesn't have a fairy type move. Okay. Also comes with the ability Cursed Body, which has a 30% chance to disable a move whenever Gengar is hit by that move. Notably, Ash's Gengar can also Gigantamax, just as it does in the anime series. Pretty neat. Ash's Gengar is another one of Ash's powerhouse Pokemon. It has been an early part of his team during the Pokemon journeys. Ash befriended Gengar after Gengar haunted Professor Sirius's laboratory. And Gengar follows a trope of Ash adopting Pokemon abandoned by other trainers. The Pokemon is also one of 2 Pokemon who can Gigantamax on Ash's team, thanks to Gengar consuming Max Soup prepared for him by Ash. Okay. In addition to his powerful arsenal of Ghost-type attacks, Gengar has scored multiple victories thanks to its surprise Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, Will-O-Wisp is actually a good move too. Everybody's like, I don't know, I never played Sword and Shield. Yeah, this is available on Sword and Shield. If you have either of the Sword and Shield games, then you can celebrate match from World Coronation Masters. Oh, okay, to determine the world's top trainer. Ash was able to score a victory over Hoenn champion Steven Stone during the first round and is preparing to face Sinnoh champion. So, good luck there, buddy. Is preparing to face Sinnoh champion Cynthia during the second round. Should Ash win against Cynthia, he'll almost certainly go up against Leon in the finals. Ash's entire story arc during Pokemon Journeys involved facing down Leon, so it should be an epic battle. Yeah. So he's gonna beat Cynthia, obviously, because you don't just end the, you don't end the series there. I wonder how he's gonna beat Cynthia, because she is obviously not easy. That's kind of insane. Okay. But why Leon? I would have much rather seen him go against the final versus Cynthia. I would much rather him do semi-final versus Leon. But I guess they're putting him versus Leon because Leon has Charizard. So maybe that's why they're doing it. That must be some good soup. It is! Max Soup! You can, if I'm not mistaken, you can make all sorts of odd stuff in Sword and Shield whenever you do the cooking. Yeah, I did some of the cooking for a while, but it was mostly just so I could heal up my Pokemon and give them a little experience. The cooking, I don't know. The cooking in Sword and Shield was... how can I put it? It's annoying because you have to work the control. And if you're not very fast, then you make terrible food. So... that's kind of how it goes there, because sometimes it's not just, and also it may not necessarily be a matter of just like stirring, because it's weird. The way it actually works is you choose certain ingredients, you put them in the pot, and then it says, okay, now fan the flames or whatever, and so it puts like this little fan in your hand, and you have to like press your button or actually move the Joy-Con up and down to fan the flames. And if you don't do it fast enough, then it doesn't get hot enough, but if you do it too fast, then it starts burning your food. So it's like, yeah. And then after that, you have to use the little Joy-Con control again to stir, And if you stir too slowly, then again, it doesn't turn out good. But if you stir too fast, then you start spilling food everywhere. And my mic keeps cutting out. You know, it's actually pouring rain right now. So that could be what the problem is. That, I guess I should have told you about that earlier. Yeah, it is actually. So hopefully it won't happen again. But if it does, if I suddenly lose connection or something like that, that's probably what it is. But I blame Moni for that. It's all Moni's fault. You thought it was your headphones? No. It's raining pretty hard. It happened again just right now. Hold on. I can try and restart my mic here. Give me a sec. Let's see if I can work with it. Hold on. Give me a sec here. Oh, take your headphones off for the next few seconds because you may hear some pops. Okay, so I went ahead and reseated my connections. So if that doesn't work, then I don't know what to tell you. Maybe the mic is just telling me, dude, you've had me for like 10 years. It's time to replace me. But that's the thing about these types of mics. 25 years. Yeah, I have an old school XLR microphone. You're back. And who's messaging me? Why am I getting a message? Well, I got a message now. Check who this is. What? What happened? Okay, who's sending me this? Oh, it's my mom asking me about something with my stepdad. Anyway. Yeah, so where were we? Okay, yeah, so, apparently, yeah, you can go get a Gengar. Anyway, let's move on. That's really one of the few things that Pokemon News had this week. There is one other thing. Pokemon Company sues 6 Chinese companies, wants them to apologize for making millions off similar game. Dude, there are so many Pokemon clones out there right now, it's not even funny. The Pokemon Company has filed a lawsuit against 6 Chinese companies over a mobile game for copyright infringement and unfair competitive behavior. It is claiming over $72 million in damages and demanding public apologies on major social media platforms, gaming websites, and app stores. The proposed apology tour will include Sina.com, Tencent.com, and NetEase.com, as well as on major mobile app stores. Ouch. Originally reported by the South China Morning Post, Pocket Monsters Reissue is a mobile game where you collect not Pokemon and battle them in a turn-based system that features artwork with similarities to popular characters from the Pokemon franchise like Ash Ketchum. Gameplay videos on Chinese video sites show that most of the trainable monsters are original designs, but one video featured an unedited Clefable and Granbull. Also caught a glimpse of a character who appeared to be N from Pokemon Black and White. Kotaku has reached out to Nintendo for a comment, but did not receive a response in time for publication. Do I actually... Oh, it's on Bilibili. Do we actually want to watch Bilibili? Hold on. Let me see what Bilibili says here. Okay, let's see how close this is. Oh. Yeah, these look very similar. Okay, that looks like Rowlet. That looks like Poplio. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's obviously Mewtwo. Yeah, these are straight ripoffs. Yeah, that's Greninja. That's okay, yeah. Blastoise. This is a 100% a ripoff. They didn't even try. And look, that's definitely N. That is definitely N. Okay, that's it's like, come on, they're not even trying. It's just a blatant ripoff. Let's see. I guess that's supposed to be. Oh, that's supposed to be Professor Sycamore. I bet. Oh my gosh, this is such a Pokemon ripoff. Oh, that's hilarious. Let me see. Okay, this is actually a long video. Let me fast forward a little bit through here. Okay, that's Ho-Oh. I don't know who this is. That looks like Greninja. I mean, some of the art, to be fair, some of the art actually looks really neat. Let's see, what's this? Let's move forward a little bit. See, that looks kind of cool. That looks a little more original. That is obviously Gengar. That is very much a Gengar. Enough. Yeah, oh yeah, this is 100% a Pokemon ripoff. Oh, again. Yeah, this is all stupid. See, like, that guy actually looks kind of cool. He kind of looks like Machamp, but he could be considered original. But yeah, like this is very much the whole... Because I know Pokemon for the longest time did that little chibi sort of animation style. Oh, that's N. Yeah, that was definitely N. Okay, enough of that. That's a Groudon with a scarf and flag. Is that what that is? I couldn't tell. Pocket Monster reissue has been operating on major Chinese app stores since 2015, according to a stock exchange filing by one of the defendants. Let's see, the game made over $4 million a month in its first year. The company's profits have increased every year. Ever since the lawsuit was announced, the gaming industry pipe maker have seen a 6% tumble in stock price, and that's not that much. Pokemon has only recently begun officially making inroads in the Chinese market. Pokemon Sun and Moon were the first games that received official Chinese port. Pokemon Go has been banned since 2017 over traffic safety concerns, but that hasn't stopped Chinese players from finding workarounds to play the game anyway. Even after decades without official game releases, Pokemon is immensely popular in China. My own childhood summers were filled with bootleg trading cards and plastic toys, so it's unsurprising that reissue made millions off the IP every year. Yeah, the only thing that I think may cause problems here is that these are Chinese companies. I don't know where the lawsuit was filed. Was it filed in China? Because I've not really heard of Sina. I have heard of Tencent and NetEase. Both of those companies are big, like huge game developers and game distributors in China. I mean, they have their hands in everything, even American games. They have their hands in a lot of American games. So yeah, it all depends where it was filed, really. Because I can tell you, if it were filed in America, this is a slam dunk win for the Pokemon Company. If it's filed in China, I have no clue. That's what I'm saying. Good luck doing that. Well, the thing is that a lot of Pokemon product is made in China. A lot of it. I mean, from the plush toys to the little Funko Pop figures and not the cards. From what I understand, the cards are still made either in Japan or in the US. I think they're also made in Belgium too, which is normal. Belgium is one of those countries that actually produces a lot of Magic the Gathering stuff. So, yeah, I don't know how that's going to work out. But as far as the case goes, I mean, yeah, this is basically, what is the name of the game again? Let me see. Where is it? Oh, Pocket Monster Reissue. Yeah, this is the face of Pocket Monster Reissue right now. They're like, Ditto transformed into Pikachu. I'm sorry, his face is just funny. But I would think that China wouldn't really want to burn any bridges with the Pokemon Company because they do give China an absolute ton of money. I'm talking like billions of dollars a year. So I think they're probably going to try and settle it. I don't know how they're going to do as far as stopping the game. I have no clue how that's going to work. But Yep, they've yeah, wants them to apologize for making millions. I mean, they're going really far here because not only do they want the money, but they also want them to make official apologies on certain websites and also on social media platforms. So they want it. They want them to fully admit that they ripped off the Pokemon IP, which they did. So that's kind of nuts. Okay. Let's step away from Pokemon for a minute, and we'll talk about GPUs. That's right. AMD and NVIDIA GPU prices in free fall. RTX 3090 drops below $1,000. Tencent is untouchable. They're pretty much the lapdog of the Chinese government. That's why I'm saying that when it comes to a company like Tencent, I don't really know how that's going to play out. Yes, but they were contracted to do that, so that's different. And that's why I'm saying it's going to be... the thing about the Pokemon company is they themselves are a huge... They are a behemoth. An absolute behemoth. So... I know Tencent's a behemoth too, so it's basically like two gaming titans going at each other. And one of them is very much in the right, but the other, like you had mentioned, is protected by the Chinese government. So it's gonna be weird how that plays out. I'm gonna keep paying attention to it and see what the deal is, but who knows what's gonna happen, man. Excuse me. An official one. AMD and NVIDIA GPU prices in freefall. The 3090 drops below $1,000, which is where it should have been all this time. The 3090 Ti for $1,100, and a 3080 Ti for $800. That is actually a really good deal. As we enter September, we continue to notice the prices of AMD and NVIDIA GPUs are in freefall. That's why I have not bought one yet, because I knew they were going to keep going down. Let's see. Continue dropping below MSRP. RTX 3090 series falls below 1,000. Last week we reported how AMD and NVIDIA partners were ready to offer bigger discounts and cuts on their existing inventory to clear away their stock and get ready for the next-gen GPUs. Graphics manufacturers failed in their initial attempt to move any decent quantities of GPUs, but the second round, which will be more brutal in terms of price cuts than the first one, is expected to hit retailers this month, and we are already seeing signs of that. Thank you. Yeah, look at some of these prices. This is just, it's kind of insane. Like, I don't know if you can really see it that clearly. I mean, the screenshot's not very good. But yeah, look at that. A 3090, an EVGA 3090 for $959. That is the cheapest I've ever seen it. Yeah, that's the cheapest I have seen a 3090 ever. What else we got here? The rest of these are 3090s? Yeah, these are just different variants. You get a Zotac Arctic Storm 1060. Yeah, these are actually, I mean, not that I would buy a 3090. I wouldn't know what to do with a 3090. It's just like, that's just too much GPU for me. The only good thing about getting something like a 3090 is that it would last you a long time. But at the same time, a 3090 just drinks electricity. So it's like, as of this writing, let's see, September 3rd, 2022. Over at Newegg, the NVIDIA GPU RTX 3090 graphics card can be purchased as low as okay, they didn't even put the price there. A drop of 36% compared to MSRP. Yeah, the original MSRP for those things was $1,500, which was still like stupid. It was like stupid expensive. A 3090 had never been that expensive. Never. Or not a 3090, but I mean like the X90. You know what I mean? Like a 2090 or like a 1080 Ti, that sort of stuff. So yeah, to see that price point when it came out, I was like, wow, that's really expensive. And the 3090 Ti for 2000 was stupid. It was just stupid. I sort of feel bad for people who actually bought that. But if you're buying a 3090 for $2,000, you're probably not that worried about money. Really. Let's see here. NVIDIA 3080 Ti. Let's see. Drop below $900. Okay. And this is just more pricing. Oh, that's an Amazon price. 3090 Trinity OC from Zotac. $928. That's not bad. isn't the only one affected by price cuts, and AMD's Radeon RX 6950 XT and 6900 XT are well below their MSRPs. The RX 6950 XT has fallen below $1,000 to $949. It's a good price compared to its launch MSRP of about $1,100. While the Radeon RX 6900 XT retains its $700 US pricing versus the launch MSRP of $999. I actually saw an RX 6800 XT because you all know I had been eyeing the 6750 XT, but I saw a 6800 XT for, I think it was like $530. And I was like, ooh, now that one's looking attractive because it's a ton more performance. It's like a 20-something% uplift from the 6700 XT, and even a good uplift from the 6750. So I'm still looking at those cards. Over at Baidu Forums, we can see pricing updates daily with several high-end cards now selling for 35 to 45% below the MSRPs. Let me see what else we got here. 3090. Okay, and then that's just the listing here. Okay, you're thinking that these are the lowest prices these cards would hit, and now is a good time to get a new graphics card. Then I would advise you to hold off your purchase further since prices continue to fall, with rumors mounting of a potential RTX 40 series launch in the next few months, which is very true. You could be seeing RTX 3090s being sold much lower and even close to $500. Wow. 3090 for $500. If seriously, if it hits $500, then it would be a no-brainer to get a 3090. The only bad thing is that I might have to get a better PSU, but wow, a 3090 for $500, that would be insane. That would be absolutely insane. Yeah, that's exactly what they just said right now. The 40 series is getting ready to launch here in the next couple of months. Another thing, though, AMD mentioned that their RDNA 3 lineup may actually launch by the end of the year. So come December, we may have some new, some RX like 7700s and 7800s. So yeah, that's kind of crazy, man. The reason I'm still leaning AMD, though, like a 6750 or a 6800, is because they come with bigger VRAM. The 3090, I believe, has 16 gigabytes of VRAM, I think. So that would actually be really awesome. Let me see. 3090. Oh, wow. This one has 24 gigabytes of GDDR6X. That's that particular one, though. Oh, wow. Yeah, this one, these do have 24 gigabytes of VRAM. Wow. Again, I think this is a little... 500 for a 3090, I think, is a little too... I don't know. I don't think it's going to hit 500. That seems way too low. Unless they are really that desperate. I would see it maybe hitting like 700. That makes sense to me. Especially once the 4090s come out, or the 4080s. Then yeah, these 3090s are really going to start coming down. That, and here's another thing. I don't know if you all are aware of this, but Ethereum mining. That's going to go through a huge change here in the next couple of weeks, because they're moving from proof of work to proof of stake. And you cannot do proof of stake mining with a GPU. It has to be done with a CPU. So everybody who's been farming Ethereum for the last several years using GPUs is no longer going to be able to do that. They can still use those cards to farm other stuff like Bitcoin or some other coins out there. But Ethereum itself is, since it's switching over to proof of stake, will we see a boom in CPU scalping? I really don't know. I don't know how that's really going to play out. It could just be that those people just leave Ethereum mining and don't really go back to it. They could just go back to another coin out. Because, I mean, there are dozens of cryptos out there at this point. It's just a matter of which one that you want to farm or which one you want to mine. I don't think there's going to be CPU scalping. Because like I know that what was it with there was a new crypto that came out and it wasn't really dependent so much on GPU or CPU processing power, but it was having to do with storage. And so people for a short time there for like 2 weeks were like, oh, that means that all the storage devices are going to get really expensive, and that never came to pass. I mean, that crypto is still out there, but the pricing increases that everybody thought was going to happen just didn't. Yeah, it just didn't happen at all. So yeah, but yeah, that's pretty interesting there. I'm actually let me hop on Amazon. Let's see. Let's do 6800 XT graphics card. Because I know I saw one that was really cheap. It may not be here anymore, but it was really, really cheap. Well, here's actually a cheaper one, $579. That's an all right price. Oh, that's just the regular 6800. That's not the XT. Oh, here you go. Here's a 6800 non-XT for $550. That's actually not bad. But look at that, 6700 XT for $435. Yeah, these prices are much lower than they were. Let me check the 6750 again. Oh, there you go. 6750 XT. $460. That's actually a really good price. That's much lower than it was, because remember, it was hanging around 500, 510 for a while. Now, this is a different variant. The one that I was looking at previously was this one, the Merc 319. This is the Kick 319, so they're just a little bit different. The cooling solutions are a little bit different. So yeah, that's why I'm just like, I'm gonna wait, because these are just gonna continue to go down more and more and more. Cards. So they will last you, even if you buy them as they're ending their original release, they're going to last you like a good 5 years at least, because these are higher end cards. It's kind of like people who are running like 980 Ti's. They're older cards, but they're still good. Same thing with the 10 series. If you're running like a 1080 Ti, that card is still excellent. You probably don't even need to upgrade yet, unless you're doing certain types of workloads. You know, that's different. But yeah, if you're like on a 1080 Ti, no point in upgrading right now. Unless you're just like a huge FPS snob, which does happen. But yeah, that's pretty neat, man. Speaking of computer parts, AMD Ryzen 9 7950X 16 core, on par with Intel's Core i9 13900K 16 core CPU in leaked Cinebench R13 benchmark. I watched AMD is releasing, and I'm not regretting my purchase. I am not regretting my purchase of the 5900X. It is still, the 5900X is still an excellent CPU, and I will not upgrade for at least another 3 or 4 years. So it's going to be good for me for a long time. But I'm seeing some of the benchmarks and some of the data that's coming out about this new Ryzen 7000 stuff. Wow, is it impressive. It is just like stupid impressive, like whoa. Like I had mentioned to Hammer, I had mentioned to him that I think I may have gotten a golden sample with my 5900X, because I think the stock option that came with it was, I think it's like, it starts at like 3.8 gigahertz as anyway, actually I think it's 3.7 gigahertz standard, and then it boosts to 4.7 gigahertz. That's like the boost clock. I'm getting boost clocks of 5 gigahertz on my chip, and I'm not even overclocking. I'm not overclocking it at all. It goes to 5 gigahertz every single time. So I'm like, ooh, okay, that's fine with me. Gets a little, the chip gets a little warm, but it's 5 gigahertz. It's gonna get warm, but I've got water cooling on it, so it's fine. But take a look at these boost clocks. The Ryzen 9 7950X boost clock, 5.7 gigahertz. That is insane. This is stock. This is stock. Now, it's only on a single core. I want to be clear about that. It is not all core boost. But look at the base clock. The base clock is all cores. 4.5 gigahertz on 16 cores. That is astoundingly good. And then you get that boost clock to 5.7. And now some people may think, well, what are you going to do with a single core boosting to 5.7? Interestingly enough, there are a lot of programs out there that still depend on single core workloads. And a lot of them would be like Adobe Premiere, After Effects, and I believe Photoshop also does it as well. So to get a 5.7 gigahertz boost on even just a single core with those particular workloads is really good. It's really, really good. Can't wait for the RTX 4000 series to drain my house's electric bill dry. Oh, I did see about more about the 4000 series. They're not as power hungry as we thought they were going to be, but they do still... They're not going to just like eat you out of house and home, but they will put a little dent in your wallet. So they're not as bad as we thought they were going to be, but they are still, you know. Speaking of power consumption, or heat dissipation in this case, look at the TDPs. 170 watts. Now, AMD does their TDP calculation a little bit different than Intel does, but this is still pretty high. 170 watts, yeah. I know that coolers from AM4 can be carried over to AM5, which is good, but if you're going with a higher end processor, I sincerely hope that what you're pulling over is probably a water-cooled unit, like an AIO, because it's gonna take some power to cool 170 watts. It really is. 105 watts, that seems very reasonable. Yeah, like my 5900X is 105 watts, so it's relatively easy to cool. But yeah, I guess the uplift or the somewhat lateral movement from what I have right now would be this thing, the Ryzen 9 7900X, which again is still $170, boosts to 5.6 gigahertz. TDP is basically the amount of heat that it generates, so how hot the chip itself gets. The thing is, though, is with TDPs, you can't really base this number and compare apples to apples with others. Like, say, for instance, if you tried to compare this apples to apples with, like, Intel, because Intel 900K, if I'm not mistaken, is, what, a 225 TDP? As far as the actual thing it stands for, I believe, I'm trying to remember what it stands for now, because I hear so many different versions of what TDP is. Total dispersion of power, something along those lines. I forget exactly how it is that it's worded. But like I said, the formulas that these companies use are a little bit different, so this isn't, like I said, it's not an apples to apples comparison. But if you're going with one of these two chips, yeah, you probably want to go water cooling or with an extremely beefy air cooler. Yeah, with these, the Ryzen 7 and the Ryzen 5s, yeah, you can probably air cool those, no problem. But even this is kind of amazing. Like this right here, this is like your base gaming chip right here. Six cores, 12 threads. The Ryzen 5 7600X. Look at that base clock. 4.7 gigahertz and boosts to 5.3. $300 for that chip. That is going to be excellent for gaming. Thermal design power, thank you. But dude, that. I mean, just all of these chips look very attractive, and look at how much they cost. Look at the prices on this. Like when the 5900X came out, it was like a $600 part. Now, this chip, which is again just kind of the newer version of the 5900X, is so much better. And look at it's got more cache and everything too, but look at how much it costs. $549 US. That is actually excellent. Now, there's a reason why these are so much cheaper. There is a reason. And that reason is DDR5. I believe that's why AMD is being so aggressive with the pricing on these. Because again, when the 5950X came out, that was like an $800 part. This one is going to be $700, so they're marking it down a little bit. And the reason they're doing that is because they know that, one, they're moving to AM5, so everybody has to get a new motherboard. And two, it's only going to work with DDR5. So not only does everybody have to get a new motherboard, but they also have to get new memory kits. It's still pretty expensive. The good thing is, if you actually want to upgrade your DDR4 kits, those things are cheap right now. No joke, Newegg has a kit on there. Bytes, 2 sticks for like $75. 32 gigabyte kit. Each stick is 16 gigabytes. It's 3,200 mega transfers per second. That's actually a really good kit. For $75, that is amazing. Like the kit that I have running right now is 32 gigabytes, but it's 8 times 4. It's at 3,200 mega transfers per second. But I think I paid probably 150 for it. But of course, this was like 2 or 3 years ago. So there you go. But yeah, DDR5 is going to be a bit expensive. So the entry price, the overall entry cost for the new Ryzen chips is going to be a little expensive, simply because, like I said, you got to get a lot of new parts. Daily message on Twitter when it upgrade next time. I have no idea about this stuff. Well, I wouldn't say that I'm like a genius at this, but I do keep up with it. Like I watch a lot of Gamers Nexus videos. I watch a lot of occasionally I'll watch Linus Tech Tips. I'll watch like Paul's Hardware. Paul's Hardware has some decent videos. There's a lot of good tech YouTubers out there. If you want to get more into like the actual nuts and bolts of the thing, there's a guy who runs a channel called Actually Hardcore Overclocking. He gets like really into the weeds on this stuff. Like he'll take a motherboard and he'll put it under like a microscope, and he will go through each and every single part and identify the actual parts and the part numbers and tell you what each of them does. He gets really into it. Now, if you just want stuff that's kind of on the consumer level, then you can stick with channels like Gamers Nexus or not so much Linus Tech Tips anymore, because they're more consumer electronics and not so much computers. But yeah, Gamers Nexus is good. Paul's Hardware is pretty good. Jay's 2 Cents, he's also very good. He does a lot of his videos. It feels sometimes like Jay's videos don't really have too much rhyme or reason. Yes, there's Bitwit Kyle. Bitwit Kyle does some pretty good stuff. But if I had to pick one particular channel for reviews and stuff when it came to things like GPUs, CPUs, that kind of stuff, I'd probably go Gamers Nexus. Simply because they break it down for you. They give you all the numbers, all the data, and they almost never give real like actual recommendations. They kind of just say, well, if I had to pick one, I would go with this or that. But they don't ever say, oh yes, definitely go buy this part or whatever. They don't generally do that. Spelled Gamers Nexus. Yes, just like that. Yeah, you can actually find them over on Twitter as well. The guy who initially started the channel, Steve Burke, really cool dude, has long hair. We've called him Tech Jesus for years. So yeah, if you call him Tech Jesus, he'll just be like, eh. But yeah, just like that, Gamers Nexus. No apostrophe in gamers, so you did spell it right there. But yeah, him and his team, they're very, very good. They're excellent at what they do. And they're getting better too. They just bought a whole bunch of stuff for testing, like PSUs. So they're going to be doing a lot of PSU testing. They also bought some sound chamber stuff, like for fans. So if you're like, kind of like hardcore about, not wanting your PC to be too loud, that kind of thing, then they'll, kind of give you some advice on what fans are good and that sort of thing. But yeah, they have some absolutely excellent videos. But again, just to kind of get back to this, yeah, the AMD Ryzen 7950X scored an impressive 38,984 points in multi-core tests. Now comparing it to the Ryzen 950X, the Ryzen blazes at 61% better multi-threaded uplift. Yeah, It also crushes the Core i9 12900K with an impressive 42% uplift. Finally, the chip does lose out to the Intel Core i9 13900K with a 3% slower performance, but that's almost on par with what the 13th gen flagship produces. That's really good. So they're basically on par. They're very close to margin of error with the i9 3900. The i9 13900K. God, I hate those naming schemes from Intel. Yeah, with a much higher rated 350 watt TDP. Yeah, this thing is gonna be blazingly hot. You're gonna need water cooling for this chip. And don't get me wrong, this is still gonna be a very good chip. It's just gonna get very, very, very hot. So if it came to it, I would definitely go Ryzen instead. But this is impressive. Like, I've actually run this particular benchmark on my chip, and I think the best score I got, and this is without really doing any tuning or anything, the best score I got was 21,500, which is good. I mean, that's really, really good. But obviously, you know, when you got 4 extra cores, 4 extra threads, or I'm sorry, 8 extra threads, you're going to get a much higher score. You don't like water cooling? It depends on what you and how you set it up. And I think I even mentioned to you all that I recently replaced my AIO unit because my old one started leaking. And it leaked right on my graphics card. I'm pretty sure I told you all about that. The way I have it set up is I have it in kind of a semi-open air case. And of course my card is not, I don't have it set up vertically. I have it just standard set up in there. But the only thing that saved my graphics card was the fact that it has a backplate. If it did not have that backplate on there, it would have definitely got into the circuits and probably fried my card. And may have even caused more damage to like my motherboard and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I like backplates. Backplates aren't always great because sometimes they hold in heat, but in this case, it saved my card from certain death. Most modern AIOs are usually pretty good. Looking back at the older AIO that I had, again, it was one of those that kind of looked cool, but it definitely had a major design flaw. And interestingly enough, that design flaw is where the failure occurred. Because it had this, it's like usually when you get an AIO, it has that water block that's right there in the center. Well, the one that I used, it had the water block there, but then it had this glass tube that came out of it that the only reason I could think of it being there was for looks. Because it not only was it a glass tube that you could see the liquid going through, but it also lit up, which I don't really care for. The RGB color stuff, I don't really care for that. But it was on sale, and so I was like, okay, it looks pretty good, and it worked perfectly fine for a number of years, like 3.5 years. It worked perfectly fine. And then, like I said, I suddenly looked over because my computer is like literally right in front of me. I can actually see all my parts because I have like a big giant acrylic like thing that goes up against it, so I can see all the parts. And then I noticed, I was like, what is that? It was like this little green sort of stuff that was on the back plate of my video card, and I was like, oh no. So I immediately turned off the computer, went and checked it, and sure enough, it was leaking. I was like, ah, crap. But yeah, that one little part that I had always been concerned about was the part where it failed. It happens. It can happen sometimes. I actually trust AIOs more than I trust custom loops or open loop. Because open loop to me feels like it has far more points of failure than an AIO. Because AIO, they've got a few points of failure, but you have to remember when you're doing like a custom loop or an open loop, every time you go to one of those little junctions where you have to put, oh gosh, what's the name I'm looking for? Where you basically have to screw the tube into another tube, that's another point of failure. So if any one of those leaks, then you could be in trouble. But anyways, how did we get to that? Okay, so this talks about more of that. Okay, But yeah, these new chips look really insane. They just look really really good. Like I said, I'm not going to upgrade to them. I didn't want to upgrade to them either. Because even when I heard they were coming out and I heard they were only going to be DDR5, I was like, you know, I'm not going to get this generation. I'm not going to get the 8000 series. I may consider the 9000 series, all depending on what the uplift is. Because by then, DDR5 will be much cheaper. Because I think DDR5 right now is still like... Because when it first came out, obviously, it was super expensive. Let's see. DDR5 RAM... Let's just go with 16 gigabytes. That seems to be about the standard. Let's see. Well, that's actually not terrible. Is that... Yeah, it is DDR5. Okay, 4800... Oh, okay, it's a lower speed. Yeah, 4800 mega transfers, 16 gigabytes DDR5. You can do dual channel XMP. Okay. That's actually not terrible. Yeah, that is actually not bad. But of course, let me see. Oh, that's Kingston. Kingston's okay. They've been around a long time. They're all right. But again, it's a slower... 4800 is kind of like the bottom of the barrel when it comes to MT with DDR5. You can go lower. You can get to like 42. But yeah, obviously, if you're going to go DDR5, you want to go as high as you can. Okay, here's another one. This is 5200. So that's a little bit better. Let's see. And that's 130. Okay, yeah, that's a little more expensive than DDR4 was when it came out. There's 5600 mega transfers. There we go. That's where it starts getting expensive. Look at this. 5600. And again, same size. It's just faster. But $164. So yeah, it's starting to get a little expensive there. PNY. Team group. Okay. Yeah, again, all of these are lower clocked. Oh, and then look at this one. 6600. $400, but that's a 32 gigabyte kit. So yeah, the DDR5 is still pretty expensive. I think give it another year at least, and it'll start getting much cheaper. Yeah, another good year or so, and it's going to get cheaper. But like I mentioned earlier, the good thing is that if you have DDR4, or if you have a system that runs DDR4, DDR4 is actually looking really cheap right now. Like, look at this. Corsair Vengeance, 32 gigabyte kit, $90. And that's 3200. That's actually really good. And the timings look like they'd be fairly decent too. Same thing here, 32 gigabyte kit. Yeah, these are all really cheap. Corsair's fine. Corsair Team Group, they're fine. Silicon Power? I've heard of them, but I didn't know that they were getting into the memory game. What about 64? I'm kind of curious what 64 is. Oops, come on, go back. Go back. 64. Oops. $204. Oh, but that's times... Oh, okay, that's only 2 sticks. Okay, that's why it's so expensive. Okay. Let's see, Ripjaws. Yeah, 64 gigabyte kick, $200. That one's $194. Oh, that's a SODIMM, isn't it? Yeah, it's a SODIMM. Mushkin. I've known them for doing like SSDs. So I guess it makes $180. What's the 3200 megahertz? 64 gigabytes. That's not bad. Yeah, the DDR4 kits are going down a bit. They're definitely a bit cheaper than they were. Because I actually thought about, you know, do I want to bump it up? Because I've got 32 megabytes. Or 32 gigabytes right now. And I was like, do I really need to push it to 64? Do I really? Because the closest I've gotten to maxing out my is my mic keeps cutting out. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. It's broken. It's all broken. But I thought about upgrading, and I was like, the only time I've ever gotten close to maxing out my RAM was when I had a crap ton of stuff open, and I think I maxed out at like 28 gigabytes. I think that's the highest I've ever gotten. I've never actually hit it to the limit. So 64 may not be worth it for me unless I completely change the workloads I'm doing, which I'm probably not going to do. But let us move on from tech, because now we're going to talk about what everybody wants to talk about, all the Yu-Gi-Oh players. We're going to talk about... Come on, go away. Cross Duel! That's right. Yu-Gi-Oh! Cross Duel, a 4-player twist on the trading card game, releases September 6th. So yeah, in just a few days, we're going to get some Cross Duel. Konami has announced that the Yu-Gi-Oh! Cross Duel free-to-play 4-player mobile version of the classic card game will be released on September 6th. Cross Duel, which is being released on Apple App Store and Google Play Store, introduces a brand new way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Blah, blah. I'm still not a fan of this. Yeah, I guess we can watch the video. 4-player match. Okay. Hey, Sina. We're watching the Cross Duel video real quick. Oh, the animations look cool.
It's the main phase of the first turn.
Oh, so you can summon multiple monsters.
Full speed ahead. What a joke. Lightning. You never cease to amaze.
Hey, Gog. Oh, Ryza. 17,000 attack? Oh, is that a... Oh, it's a raid boss. Oh, crazy. Okay, that actually looks kind of interesting. Ooh. Okay, I wasn't sure about this game, but if you can do, like, raids like that, that actually seems kind of interesting.
As long as you're worthy of the crown, anyone can be the king. And when I say anyone, that includes you, Luke. Let's see who comes out on top. Okay, Yuga, let's see who's the king of cross duels.
I forgot his name was Yuga. What a goofy name.
The planet can block my way. Nothing will stop my road to victory. Seven's Road Magician. I'm loading my road to victory. Burn 'em up. Seven's magic attack.
Wow. Oh my god. Was that the Ojima King?
Like you enjoy suffering.
This actually looks very different from the beta. View from your favorite angles. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Even more excited about partnering up with characters. Oh, okay. So you can team up. Room matches. 32-person room matches. The field looks very busy, but at the same time, it looks kind of exciting. Trade. Oh, you can trade cards. Use duplicate cards to get the cards you really want. Oh, so it lets you break down cards? Just like in Master Duel? Oh, cool. Okay. Exciting new way to play. Duelists will have to pay close attention if they want to come out on top. Okay. Hmm. That actually looks kind of cool. Okay, I gotta hand it to him. That looks far better than it did a year ago. That actually looked really cool. When I think the best part that really got my attention was the raid. How you can go in with 4 people and there's like just a giant monster and you got to take it out. That actually looked kind of cool. I hope they implement that really well. And the part that made me laugh was when you could check out all the 3D monsters from your, quote, favorite angle. I was like, yep, they put Dark Magician Girl there for a reason, huh? But I think it's outdated now. Well, Elemental Heroes can still be good. They can still be very good. They just gotta, gotta update with newer cards. Okay, so compared to when I first got into the beta of this game a year ago, last year it did not look good. It looked very clunky and kind of ugly, but the animations look way better now. The gameplay looks more solid. I think I may actually try this now. But when is it going to come onto... Is it going to be for PC as well at some point? Because it says it's only on iOS and Android right now. Well, starting on the 6th, it's going to be there. If we can get it on PC... Huh. Mode as well. Recent animations for card matches. Offering rewards to people who pre-register. Oh, look, you get rewards if you pre-register on the game's official website. Yeah, pre-register here. Okay. I mean, what kind of, bonus, I guess, are you going to get? Are you going to get, like, a bunch more gems or something? Because I imagine they're going to go through gems again. Let me see, pre-register here. Oh, okay. All players will receive a social media icon. So it's basically a favicon. 2 gacha draws. Oh, gotcha draws. Oh my god. Worth of gems. Okay, so you get 240 gems. Oh, look. Okay, so you basically get a little favicon and you get a bunch of extra gems. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess that's fine. I mean, you're going to give them you're going to give them your information anyway. So there you go. Here, I'll actually share this if any of y'all are actually interested in seeing that. Oh yeah, I'm aware of the virtual boxes. There's like BlueStacks and a few other programs that you can use to play Android games. I've never really liked that though because they always tend to be a little finicky. Like whenever Seven Deadly Sins first came out, I actually streamed that once while using a program. I don't think it was BlueStacks, but it was similar to BlueStacks. And at first, the game seemed fine. It was running just fine. And then, like, halfway through the stream, the game just started dying. Like, just... Why is the tag Pokemon true? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to change that. I should go change that. Let me go to Twitch real quick. I always forget. Because I multi-stream. I stream to Twitch and to YouTube. So I may have forgotten to go in there and change that. My bad. Let me get over there real quick. Oops, wrong one. Where are you? Channel. No. There we go. Let me update that then. Okay. Just chatting. There we go. All good. Completely forgot to update it. Okay, but there you go. Pre-registration. Actually looks kind of neat. Again, I hope that it ends up on Steam If it does, I may have to mess around with that, see what it looks like. But then again, I said the same thing about Master Duel, and I don't really stream that anymore. I streamed Master Duel for like 2 weeks, and then I just like, yeah. And I know the reason why I did that. I stopped streaming it because it was one of those games that I just waited so long for that by the time it was finally here, I had already kind of lost my, like, oh my god, I gotta play that. You know, you have that feeling like you can't wait for something to happen, and you end up waiting so long that you just kind of like, ugh, I don't even care anymore. That was kind of like what Master Duel was for me. Like, it was still kind of neat when it came out, so that's why I streamed it a couple of times. But after that, I was just like, it's just been so long. It's kind of like people who waited for the Duke Nukem Forever game. They waited something like 10 years for that game to come out. Same thing, man. This I thought was kind of interesting. New trading card store will make shopping a comfortable experience for those with social disabilities. You felt that? 3 of the staff members at the store are autistic and will be able to assist people with social disabilities. Okay, that's... Okay, this guy's name is Mike Tyson. Seriously, it says right here, Mike Tyson originally sold trading cards on eBay before making bigger plans. Okay, so Mike Tyson. Anyway, a new trading cards store, which is aiming to make shopping a comfortable experience for autistic and anxious children, is set to open next week. The store will be open to everyone, but 3 autistic staff members are involved to ensure the shop will have an inclusive and welcoming environment for all. Artemis Cards will sell trading cards such as Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Final Fantasy. It will open on Albert Road in Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough. I wanted to say Middlesbrough, but that's not it. Middlesbrough. Opposite Flares, and will also feature a large tent at the back of the property where regional tournaments can take place. Oh, cool. Director Mike Tyson, I told you his name was Mike Tyson, 32, started selling cards on eBay alongside business partner Luke and quickly fell in love with the games themselves. Mike, who is from Eagles Cliff, wanted to ensure the store was a safe space for everybody. He said, having autistic people on staff already will hopefully make the place more comfortable for people with social disabilities or awkwardness in crowds. We're obviously open to the general public, but we feel like we have that extra level of comfort. I can see that they really kind of went for that too, because like when you go into modern gaming stores or hobby stores, it's like the walls are completely 100% covered with stuff. There's stuff everywhere. But this looks like they purposely kind of kept some of that stuff to the minimum. Like, you still got your poster here and there, but there's not like racks of stuff here, racks of stuff there. It seems kind of minimalist, which is fine. I actually think that looks kind of good. It looks very clean. Okay, yeah, you've got like one thing here. You don't have, again, a whole bunch of stuff sitting on the counter, so that's actually pretty good. Okay. He added, originally we were going to do an eBay business and you can win cards by playing, so we got into that and it went from there. We love playing it. Everyone's got their own favorite game. Luke's big into Yu-Gi-Oh! It started off as a hobby, and once I started learning Pokemon for the first time, I kept going and managed to win the first league at a store we were at. Oh, cool. Got some Dragon Shields in there. Oh, look, he's got the Pokemon product back there. Got a Pokemon tin. Okay. While working on hard on renovations for the store, Mike has also been working at his other job in banking, which he has been doing since 2018. He has applied for a partnership with each of the games, which would mean licensed promotional materials and prizes would be sent to the store. The store is due to open next week. That's really nice. That actually looks kind of cool. Where is this located? I didn't even see where this was. Oh, what is it? Tess. Where again? I don't know where this is. Gazette. .uk. Oh, this is in the UK. I didn't realize that. Okay. Well, maybe not in the UK. Maybe this is just where this particular site is from. Middlesbrough. Oh, I guess that could be. Yeah, that's probably UK. But this seems really nice. Are these stairs? Like, is there an upstairs area? I'm kind of curious. Because that looks like stairs. But yeah, the minimalist look looks really good. Dragon Shield. Yeah, they don't even have pegboards. Usually in the back, you'll see like pegboards where they keep stuff like card sleeves and deck boxes and stuff. But they don't even have pegboards. It could also be that it's a new store. And obviously when you're just barely opening a store, you have very limited funds with which to. That seems pretty nice though. There's your deck boxes, your dragon shields. That seems nice. Times have changed. 6 years ago, we just swapped footy cards in the playground. Okay. I remember the trading card shop that used to be in Goonsboro. It was ran by a guy called Jason, who was the real life embodiment. He loved ripping little kids off by undervaluing their cards. No! That's funny. It's funny and sad at the same time. But that actually looks kind of neat. I like that. Wow. Ooh. See, the weird thing is, from this angle, this is a wide angle. So the store looks so much bigger from this angle. But then you look at this and you're like, okay, it's pretty tiny. It's very, very tiny. Yeah, that is very, very tiny. But I guess, you know, considering the type of store he's running, it doesn't necessarily need to be big. I've always been one of those people that if I started a physical store like this, I would want the store to be big. Because I would want to be able to have tournaments in the store all the time. And not just like, you know, little locals where you get like, you know, 15, 20 people. I'd want to do like regional events, you know, where like 100, 150 people want to do. So that's why it's always going to be harder for me to make my own physical store. Now I just got to stay with my online store for now. But yeah, that's like the dream, you know, to someday like have my own little building where it's, you know, I guess maybe what, 5,000 square feet or something. And be able to have all kinds of crazy stuff and then have all the tables there for people to play on. Even have a couple of rooms in the back so people can go back there and have like D&D sessions and stuff. That'd be really nice. There was a place in Austin that did that for a little while. It was called Thor's Hammer. At first they started as like a much smaller store like this, but then they just kept getting more and more popular. And so the owner eventually moved them just right down the street to a much larger location. And that larger location was amazing. It was so nice. And I remember because I always went to Thor's Hammer on my own because they had tournaments and stuff like that. But then they started doing regional events. And so my tournament organizer for Texas would always contact me and be like, hey, we're having another regional in Austin. I can count you in for judging, right? I'm like, hell yeah. Do it. It's expensive, man. It takes a lot of money to get a store like that off the ground. And even then, a lot of local game stores just don't make it because the profit margins on some of the stuff you sell is just, it's so small. I mean, even online with my online stuff where I've tried my best to minimize my expenses, even then my margins are very, very small, very small. The only good thing I think from having a physical store like this is that it would allow me to sell larger items just like what he has right here. Because like these items, I would not sell online because the shipping is going to just be too expensive. Because I know people, because then people will be like, oh, well, I could just order the same thing from Amazon and get free shipping. Yeah, that's the idea. It's Amazon. They're a huge, giant, massive, multi-billion-dollar corporation, and I'm just a guy from Texas selling Pokemon cards, man. What do you think? What do you think's gonna happen? Yeah, even with my discounted shipping rates, shipping something like this would probably be like $15, even with discounted stuff. Shipping something like this, that's smaller, that would be more affordable. But that's why I stick to cards, because sending like 2 or 3 cards to the mail, 57 cents. It's not that expensive, thankfully. In fact, I pay more usually on average for the top loader and the envelope than I do for the actual card itself. Like somebody will buy like a 5-cent card and I have to at least try to protect it, so I'll put it in like a 10-cent or 8-cent card saver. One of these little things. I got a whole case of these again. Yay, I was happy. I posted that in Discord. Oh, wow. Okay, I need to go and open up another one of those boxes. I'm getting low here. But yeah, I wouldn't mind having a little store like this. But the thing is I couldn't really open the store here because my city, it's kind of, it's like it's not a big city, but it's not a little city either. It's kind of in the middle. So certain, like family owned businesses just don't really work that well here. There's just not enough people. Like if you have like a family run business like a restaurant, that works really really well here. But if a family owned business like something like this that's a little more specialized, it's very very difficult. Like if you were to have a store like this, you would have to sell more than just trading card stuff. You would have to do another type of business that in some way might be connected to card games, but yeah. Because some people just think, oh, well, if you want to make more extra money, you can just like sell sodas and selling an extra soda a day is not going to keep the doors open. Yeah, you gotta have a little extra something that you go with, and I'm not like talking like adding like comic books to the repertoire. I'm talking something else completely. Like doing was having a card store, but also selling books. Which again, books you may think, oh well, everybody reads digital books. A lot more people read physical books than you would think. Because I look at a store like Half Price Books, and they sell books, but they also sell CDs. They sell records. They sell video games. They have a whole bunch of other stuff, man. What? What? I'm right here. Getting ready for my hair appointment. Your hair appointment? Why does your hair have an appointment? I don't think your hair has an appointment. Well, that does it, Hammer. You gotta send me a new mic. Because the mic that I have, like I said, it's not cheap. But maybe I do need to replace it. Who knows? Either that, or I bet it could be the cable too. You love reading. There you go. See, that's why I thought about doing that. I thought about doing like kind of a store that is just more like an entertainment store and not necessarily simply focused on card games. Like I would want to do a store that does the card game stuff, like all the Pokemon, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, all that stuff, but that also sells books, and not just for games, but just like general books. And not only that, maybe a store that also sells like CDs and maybe some records, that kind of stuff. Kind of just add little extra stuff in there to maybe get a few extra people in the door. So even if somebody goes in there, like say for instance, if a mom goes into your store with two of her kids, and they're looking at all the Pokemon stuff, and she looks over and sees, oh look, some CDs, or look, hey, look, some books. Let's see what they got here in the books. The kids might get some Pokemon stuff. The mother might get a book. Or same thing with video games, like even used video games. Yeah, because even the used video games, I mean, some of them, I actually used to buy a lot of used video games like dirt cheap. You could get them for like $1. Like really, really cheap. So that's all I was like, okay. Because what I'm trying to, like I've mentioned this before again, with the online store that I'm actually building right now, because I have the TCG player store and I have my little eBay presence, but then I also have the store that I'm building, which is my own personal online store. Some of the products and some of the merchandise that I want to list in there are things like CDs, movies, books, obviously more trading card stuff, little things like that. And so it's not going to be focused on one particular thing. An arcade. An arcade actually would be kind of neat. I think I would probably do maybe do an arcade thing. If I did do a physical store and I had something like an arcade, I would have to put that in this kind of a separate area, because arcades tend to get a little loud at times. But if I did have something like that, I would want each game to be only a quarter, like old school, just a quarter, and I would want to have at least 4 cabinets. I wouldn't want to have like just one lone game that's back there. It's like a dark little corner, and there's like an old, Galaga machine or something back there. I wouldn't mind having an old Galaga machine, but I'd want to have like Galaga, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, maybe Mortal Kombat, like some old school stuff. So even the older people could go back there and be like, dude, yeah. And again, I want to keep it a quarter, so people are like, okay, sure. That would be kind of fun. You could also get, and I guess the fourth cabinet could maybe be one of those multi games, like those. Do you remember Neo Geos? I don't know if y'all are old enough to remember those, but Neo Geos were like these gaming cabinets that used to be very popular in places like bars and casinos. And the reason they were popular is because it was one cabinet, but that cabinet came with like 8 different games. And you could choose what game you wanted to play. All the controls and everything were all the same, but it would give you a menu. Like when you put in your quarter, you get a menu. Okay, which game do you want to play? And you choose whatever game, and then boom, just like that, it's on. Yeah, those Neo Geos are pretty neat. Emulation cabinet. Yeah, back in the day, Neo Geo was about as close to an emulation cabinet as you were going to get because it came with multiple games. Add a coin slot. Everybody loves a good coin slot. I'm sorry. Yeah, Dre, you gotta hire Hammer, man. You know, because Dre is like the big time music producer. He's making music and stuff, man. You gotta hire Hammer. Hire Hammer to like build computers or something for you. Yeah, because you definitely need one. We still need to get Dre a computer. It's been like 4 years. I've been telling Dre, dude, get even like a Chromebook or something, man. There's videos about it. Yeah, you can actually probably build your own cabinet because to build like an emulation machine is really not that, well, from a technical standpoint, it's really not hard. I think the hardest part would probably be just building the cabinet because that actually takes like some physical dexterity and, you know, some skills there. Unfortunately, I'm not skilled enough with my hands to be able to build something like a cabinet, but I'm sure it's one of those things that you could either buy for a few $100s or you could just hire somebody to build it. But to build an emulation machine, you could just use like a Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pis are cheap. You can get them for like $50. And then you just got to wire it up. I think that of any one particular thing that would be expensive for something like that, I imagine probably the controls. Because I would want to get like the old school original, you know, like sticks and buttons and stuff. You're skilled with your hands? I'm sure you are, Dre. Dre, like, I'm skilled with my hands. Or a $50 Dell. You could do that too. Saw this one with like 25,000 games. That's insane. I think that'd be a little too much because, again, when you're thinking about like an arcade cabinet that you're going to be using in a store, you don't want it to turn into a situation where there's like one person there going through a list of 25,000 games to try and figure out what they want to play. Like, I want to give them, if I were to do like I said, like similar to a Neo Geo cabinet, I would want to give them like a list of 8 games. Okay, pick one of these 8 and play it. I don't want somebody sitting there for 20 minutes scrolling through 25,000 different games, dude. Because now suddenly that quarter is not even worth the electricity to keep the cabinet on. So, I mean, I can see getting one of those cabinets where you keep it like at home. Maybe it's just like for your own personal like man cave, that kind of stuff. That seems neat. But for something that I would stick in an actual physical store, like an actual location to do business, I would not want to have something with 25,000 games. I just wouldn't. Would not want to do it. Like I said, I'd want an old Galaga machine, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Mortal Kombat 2, and like I said, like a Neo Geo machine. Those 4, if you were to do like a little mini arcade, like in an actual physical store, there you go. Because everybody loves Galaga. I mean, the thing, Galaga is like a 45-year-old game and people still love it. It's still a fun game to play. Because it's so simple. It's such a simple game. But it's a little addictive and it's just fun to play. And of course, Street Fighter, I can't forget my youth. I loved playing Street Fighter. Didn't really get into that much into Mortal Kombat, but I know it's a popular game still. Even today, Mortal Kombat is still popular. Look up Big Box. No, right now we're looking at Mike Tyson. Don't put your arcade store business in Detroit. Yes, I'm aware of that. I don't feel like getting robbed every other day. Party room with a projector and console. Okay, now we're getting expensive, Hammer. I have to kind of keep things down to earth. Like if money were no object, fantasy room, like a big giant, like 25,000 square foot building with just all kinds of insanity in it. I don't have millions of dollars to build something like that. Because if I were to build something like that, I would want to build it right. I wouldn't want to just pick, the person who put in the lowest bid. Use my YouTube money? That's funny. I don't make that much money on YouTube. Yeah, not a lot of money in YouTube for me, man. I mean, I am trying like super hard to make it, because I know there have been times where I've just like stopped doing YouTube for like 2 weeks, and I just kind of let the channel sit. And then now, like in the past week and a half, I've put a video out virtually every single day at the same time, and it's still kind of meandering at times. Like, again, some videos get a little pop, but most of the videos are like, eh. Well, let me see. What was the last video I did that got 200 views? Or close to 200? Ghost from the Past. The Ghost from the Past opening got 198 views so far, which is actually not terrible. But some of the other videos, still really, really low. A 100-inch projector and Xbox Series X. Now you're thinking about a whole different business altogether. Because I've seen those businesses where they're kind of like they've got like a bunch of like PS4s and a lineup of Xboxes and there's like 5 or 6 Nintendo Switches, and you have them like projecting to like big screen TVs and stuff, and you can let people just kind of sit there like on couches and chairs and play the games. I've seen that. But again, that's a very different business model, and I mean, it looks cool, but I just don't think that I would be able to do a business like that. Yeah, it's not really one of my things that I would do. You love the videos. I think you're the only one, Hammer. Dre shows up, types in first, and then immediately leaves after watching like 10 seconds of the video. You're like, I ain't got time for this, man. I'm like, dude, it's only a 4-minute video. I'm sorry, I got things to do, man. I gotta get to my hair appointment. Back in the day, YouTube channel did big numbers, 10,000 plus. Yeah, some of my older videos still actually do really well. Like, again, one of my oldest videos, maybe not oldest, but older videos. In fact, let me see. Let me go, like a bunch of my Fallout videos still do really well even today. Oh, speaking of which, it's Dark Moon Fair time again in World of Warcraft. So that means my Dark Moon Fair video for World of Warcraft is doing well again. Like every month, every single month, it suddenly gets like a few hundred views. Like within like a 3-day period, it gets like 100 views. They have big electronic stores here in Germany. Well, I'm not going to build an electronic store. I'm not doing that. I would just like a nice, maybe not necessarily little, but a nice, decent store where I'm able to at least pay my employees relatively well, considering what they're doing, and just be able to keep it open. I don't even have to really necessarily get rich off of it. That's not the goal. The goal is just to be able to go and have a business and just to be able to do that and to be able to make sure all my bills are paid and then still pay myself a decent salary. That's all I really want. Yeah, I don't want to... I'm not necessarily looking to make a business that I'm making like, $100 million a year or anything like that. I mean, like gross receipts, if I were to make like 1.5 million a year, gross receipts from the store, and that's before, I'd be happy with that. Like my brother's business, I've told y'all before, he's a chef and he has his own business. In some of his years in existence, he's made like 1.2, 1.5, 1.8 million dollars. his income was. Of course, like I said, that's before, he pays all the bills, but that's still a lot of money. Okay, here we go. Yeah, the Fallout 4 mod scrap everything video, wow, we're almost to 104,000 views. Yeah, some of these old Fallout 4 videos still do really well. Let me see. This one is at 23,000. That one's at 21,000. That's at 19,000. Yeah, some of these older Fallout videos still do really, really well. Oh, and another one that's actually done really well: how to uncurl and flatten foil cards. It's at almost 11,500. Asking for $10,000? No, we actually don't do that with my family. In my family, we do not ask each other for money. It's just one of those things we've never really done. I think because we all kind of learned just from watching the problems that my mom had to deal with. Is like when my mom married my stepdad. My stepdad was an electrical engineer. He's retired now, but he was an electrical engineer, and those people make really good money. Like he made really, really good money. And so when they got married and they started living together, obviously his income was more than enough to take care of them both. But my mom, being, independent as she had always been, was like, well, I'm going to keep working. And, my stepdad was like, okay, fine, that's cool. But she knew if she wanted to, she could have just stopped working and he would have taken complete care of her and would have been fine. But my mom kept working. And so because she kept working, now you've got two pretty high incomes in one family, and you don't have anybody living at home. So it's an empty nest situation. So suddenly you've got an electrical engineer making bank, and you've got somebody in the banking industry making bank. And suddenly there's a lot of money going around. Well, I quickly found out, and this was after the fact, I quickly found out that, and again, I'm not going to name names here, but certain we are familiar with started coming to my mom and asking for money because they knew that she and my stepdad made good money. And being the kind person that she is, my mom was like, okay, we'll get you some money. And she would send them, like $1,500, $2,500 with the expectation that they would pay it back. Well, years go by and the money never comes back. But some of them still actually had the balls to come back and ask for more money. So my mom was like, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. So now she doesn't do that. Even with us, like me and my sister, she doesn't really do that sort of thing. Like she doesn't just give us money. If anything, she would rather give us things that would help our lives. Like with my sister, way back in, this was years ago, like 15 years ago, when she bought my sister a house, that actually made sense because my sister, she was young, and it made sense to have to raise 4 kids in an apartment. It's not good. And then the good thing that actually turned out about all that is once my sister moved out of the house, they were able to then take the house, fix it up a little bit, and sell it at a profit. So that made perfect sense. The same thing with me. Back in the day, I didn't even want it, but my mother had this van, this white Dodge van that she didn't. Wow, somebody's cat is freaking out outside. I'm sorry. All I hear is okay, it stopped. Anyways, so she had this van that was already paid for, was bought and paid for, and she only bought it at the time because she was taking care of my sister's, or helping to take care of my sister's kids, because she's a grandma, she likes help chauffeuring the kids around and stuff. So it made sense at the time, but they grew up and they got older, and she didn't need it anymore. And I didn't have a car. I had sold my car because I just simply didn't drive, and I didn't like driving. But then my brother started his business and he needed somebody to help him deliver for his business. And so my mom's like, hey, I'm going to give you my van and you're going to help your brother. And I'm just like, but I don't really want a car. And she's like, you need to help your brother. I was like, fine. So I took the van. She literally just gave me the van. And that was the vehicle that I had for a number of years. And I was just helping him do his business that way. I didn't want to, but I did. But yeah, I think the reason she did that is because she knew, she's like, well, this will give Richard a vehicle if he ever wants to use it. And this will give, your brother access to you so that you can help him with his business. Because when he first got his business started, yeah, I was helping him out. And now he's a millionaire, and I'm just like, yeah, what happened to me, bro? you ain't gonna toss me a few dollars this way, man? Oh, no. Did your cousin Jerry come back? No, Jerry's not been back. And again, I think they just keep lying to me because again, that woman, the neighbor next door, she kept saying that she was getting thrown out again, which she said like 4 times, like 4 different months she said it, but she's still there. It's September 3rd, the last day you can pay rent and not be late, and she's still there. So I don't know what's going on with her. But yeah, Jerry got arrested that day. On the 1st, I believe it was. It was on the 31st. He got arrested, and then he came back later that afternoon. It's like, dude, just stay away, man. For the love of God, just stay away. All you have to do is just not come here. How hard is that? But yeah, I actually have not liked driving for a long time. I do it out of necessity, and that's really about it. And even the vehicle I have right now, it's not mine. It's weird because it was my sister's vehicle, but it was my brother's vehicle. My brother bought it like 15 years ago as just like a little extra vehicle he had because at the time he had one of those Jeep Grand Cherokees. And it was back in like that time, like 2007, 2008, when gas prices got really, really expensive, like super expensive. The Grand Cherokee, gas was expensive. So he actually went out and bought another car, which is the little Kia car that I have right now, because it's super efficient when it comes to gas. It's like super efficient. The thing gets like 40 miles to the gallon. It's kind of insane. So after I dumped the van, because I didn't want the van, and I got into an accident with it. And after that, I was like, see, this is why I didn't like driving. And I even told my mom that because I got into that accident when I was helping my brother. And I told her, I said, see, this is why I don't like driving. And she was like, all right. So for years I was without a car and I was fine. But then my sister got a new car and she was driving this old Kia that had belonged to my brother, and my brother had no longer needed the Kia because gas prices had come down again. So he just passed the car to her. And again, this car's paid off. And my sister's like, well, I'm not going to trade it in. And she's like, do you want it? And I'm like, I don't really drive. And she's like, well, you can just have it, like, just in case. I think what prompted it, no joke, what prompted her giving me the car was like a year or two ago, we had a couple of bad hurricanes. I think I remember telling you guys about it. We had like Hurricane Harvey, and then we had another hurricane that came like not last year, but like the year before. And at the time, I didn't have a way to get out of the city. That was the only downside to not really having a car, is I couldn't leave. I couldn't just, pack up some stuff and like drive to like Austin or something to get out of the way of the storm. And so I'm pretty sure that my mom got with my sister and they kind of discussed it, and they're like, let's just give him the car. Even if he doesn't drive it, it's there. So at least if there is a hurricane, at least I can get out of town. And that's really the only reason why I actually kind of like having the car now, is because they made a good point. Because I did have to go through that storm where we didn't have power for several days, and it was terrible, and yeah. So I guess that's the best reason to have the car. That's an old car. It is an old car, but it still works. There's no point in getting rid of it if it works. That's another thing that we do in our family. If we have something, like if we spend a lot of money on something like a car, we take care of them. We take care of our stuff. Like any electronic stuff that I buy, that I spend a lot of money on, I do my best to try and take care of it. I keep it clean. I make sure it's up to snuff. I make sure software is updated, all that stuff. We take care of our expensive stuff. Because I've seen some people that will buy a new car like every couple of years. And before you know it, when you start piling debt on top of debt on top of debt, suddenly you're trying to get another car, but you owe like $35,000 on the car you have right then and there. It's like, well, eventually they're going to say no to you. And we don't like doing that. If we can keep something going with minimal investment, then, and just doing regular maintenance on it, then that's fine. Yeah, this car, it's old. It's got a lot of miles on it. It's got like 140,000 miles on it, but it still runs, and it runs perfectly fine, and it gets good gas mileage. So why not drive it around? Especially now, everybody's complaining about gas prices. Gas is so expensive. Maybe you shouldn't have bought a 2021 Ford F-250. Maybe you should buy a little Kia that gets 40 miles to the gallon. And again, this thing was getting 40 miles to the gallon back in the mid-2000s. The newer ones are even more efficient. So yeah, if you don't care about cars too much, but you need one to get around, get a Kia. Get like a little Kia and just drive that little thing around. It's like a little box with wheels on it. But it'll get you like 50, 60 miles to the gallon. Dominaria United. We're not talking about my car anymore. It's not my car. But there was something that I found out recently about Dominaria United. I do want to buy into this set. The booster boxes are a little expensive. I'm going to see if these come down a little bit more. This is all pre-sale stuff, technically, still. So I'm going to wait till these drop down to about $100 and maybe get one. But the weird thing I've noticed here is, you see this Jumpstart booster box? Look at that price. $86.50. And you may think, that's actually not bad. That's less expensive than a draft booster box. And it is. It's about $25 less, or $24 if we want to be super hardcore about it. So buy the $1,500 one. No, that's a case of collector's boosters. I don't want that. But the one thing I found out about this box, and the reason why they are less expensive, is because this is a Jumpstart product. I don't know if you all are familiar with Jumpstart, but Jumpstart products they're kind of neat in a way, but at the same time, them to try and get cards, like specific cards, because the way that these are done is each booster pack is basically like half a deck. It's like 20 cards. It's like 20 cards that are all based around a deck. And the whole idea of Jumpstart is that you and then you put those two little miniature pre-made decks together and you play it. And that's how you get started. That's why they call it Jumpstart, because even if you're not familiar with Magic and you don't really know how to play the game, you can, like say you and your friend can each get two of these boosters, open them, and then, put your two boosters together, they put their two boosters together, put the deck aside, and there you go, boom, you can start playing. And the first Jumpstart was actually really popular. And the reason it was popular is because some of the decks were actually really good. They had some really good creatures. In fact, I think the best deck that I got was a dragon deck out of one booster pack, and just the mythic by itself was like $25. It was a very good priced one. And there was another one that I never got, but it had this unicorn. I think it was called like Emracorn or something like that, and that's like a $20 card. And now I get back to why I was talking about this price. I found out that the reason why these are so inexpensive is because there are certain cards in Dominaria United, the regular basic set, that are not available in Jumpstart. So Oh my god, do I need to get a new microphone? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with it, man. Because I'm not seeing a cutout here on my end. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe it's YouTube. I don't know. But as I was saying, there are certain cards within Dominaria United, the full set, that you cannot get in. You just can't get them in the Jumpstart boosters, which is unfortunate. Which is why these are so much cheaper. And from what I understand, is that the certain cards that you can't get in Jumpstart are some of the more sought after cards, like Liliana of the Veil. This one right here. This is a reprint, but it's still an excellent card. I don't think you can get this one. I don't think you can get this one. Well, you definitely can't get the Phyrexians. But yeah, some of the more sought after cards you cannot get. You cannot get in Jumpstart. So that's why some of those boxes are as cheap as they are. They do have a few decent cards, but yeah, that's why these are so cheap. Again, because you only get 18 boosters, but each of those boosters has 20 cards in it. So it kind of evens out. But yeah, that's why I'm not buying this. Again, I guess if you want to, you can. I don't know. I just wouldn't really want to do it. It just seems weird. And you'll see that the price just fell off a cliff here, see? It was hanging around about 110 and then just... Now it's at like $86. Yeah. So, I know most of y'all don't play Magic. That's fine. But if you were to buy Dominaria stuff, do not get the Jumpstart stuff. Unless you get it like stupid cheap, like if you can somehow, because these prices I think are going to continue to go down, which is kind of weird, because the base cost per booster or per box for this, for stores, I believe is like $79. So if they go any lower, I mean, because already at this price right here, the margin is paper thin. Because once you pay fees and all that extra stuff, yeah, you're not making anything on that box. But strangely enough, I have seen it where it will go below map pricing and it will get super, super cheap. And I think that's what's going to happen with this. Because you cannot get certain cards. If there was possibility to get a Liliana or to get the new Lotus card, then this price would be much higher. But yeah, this the booster, the draft booster actually looks pretty good. 36 packs. So I think I want to go for that and hope to get a Liliana. Or I wouldn't mind getting the Lotus either. Yeah, that Lotus looks nice. Timeless Lotus. Yeah, this card is insane. It costs 5 to get out. It is a legendary artifact. And so it's not cheap. But the very next turn, you get 5 mana out of it. And it stays on the field, so you can keep using it over and over. That's insane. And I would actually tell you all about something else, but I'm pretty sure you all have no idea who they're even talking about. But in the... That's coming, because every new set brings a new, a new chapter of lore to the Magic the Gathering universe. In this set, they are killing off an old school Planeswalker. And I know some of y'all are listening to that and you're like, what does that even mean? What is a Planeswalker? What does it mean to kill them off? That's why I'm not even talking about it, because y'all are just like, eh. Like, we have no clue what that means. They do have the bundles. $40, that's not bad. Kind of want to get a bundle. Yeah, because you get the set boosters and then you get the lands. The lands are amazing. There's also some other lore that's going on with this art right here that I'm not going to get into. Again, you all will just be like, I have no clue what that means. I'm actually kind of looking forward to this, though. Check out this Phyrexian text. That looks so cool. All right. Well, everybody's asleep. So I think I'm going to go to sleep. And I'm going to go into for this thing? Hold on, here. This will annoy you all. You're like, stop it! Stop doing that! Anyway. But I think we're done. We've been going for about 2 hours. Had a few visitors. What are y'all doing for Labor Day? Well, Moni's like, we don't have Labor Day. Monday is Labor Day. That's right. No banks are open. No markets are open. No mail. It's like an extra day off. You're gonna do barbecue? That actually sounds good. You know what I actually want? I saw them talking about it. Speaking of which, I think Hammer has probably heard of it. Have you ever heard of Buc-ee's? I don't know if you've ever heard of Buc-ee's. Let me bring up Buc-ee's, because Buc-ee's is mostly a Texas thing. Yeah, here we go. Buc-ee's. What about grocery stores? Are they open? Yes. Most grocery stores are still open. Oh, wow. They've already opened up the Tennessee location. And that's why I said this is mostly a Texas thing, because most of the Buc-ee's stores are in Texas. Because Buc-ee's originated here in Texas. But now, apparently, they've recently opened one in Crossville, Tennessee. They have one in Alabama, I think, now. And I think they also have one in Florida. But yeah, Buc-ee's is well known. Not spelled that way. It's spelled differently. It's spelled BUC-EES. But the reason why Buc-ee's is kind of a big deal is because they're technically convenience stores, but they are often the size of full-size grocery stores. Well, at least some of the newer ones. Some of the older ones are still pretty small, but like there's one in New Braunfels that actually had the world record for the world's largest convenience store. For a time, it had it. It's actually been surpassed by the Tennessee location. But yeah, it's amazing. If you've never been in a Buc-ee's store, it's, oh my gosh. If you ever come to Texas for any reason, try to find Buc-ee's. Usually you'll see them like on the freeways or like off the freeways, like outside cities and stuff. And they're not truck stops. They do not allow 18-wheelers. They're all just for regular passenger cars. So you will generally not see 18-wheelers stopping there. But the big thing about Buc-ee's is, again, they're huge. They're open 24 hours. The stores are huge, I mean. They're open 24 hours. And they have the absolute cleanest bathrooms that you will ever find at a convenience store. Their bathrooms, not only are the bathrooms huge, I'm talking like some of their bathrooms have like 80 stalls. It's insane. Not only do they have stalls, they have like obviously I've only been in the males, but in the men's bathroom they've got like 30 latrines. They've got like 40 stalls like for toilets, like regular toilets. And they don't have those cheap like doors that like half the door is missing, you know, so it's like the top and the bottom is like viewable. No, it's a full door that closes. So you get absolute privacy when you're in the toilet. And not only that, but they even have showers, like actual physical showers. It's like you go into the bathroom and there's like a little walkway that you go through. And then they have like all the sinks, and they usually have like 20 sinks. It's insane. They've got all the latrines, they've got the toilets, and then there's like another section toward the back that you can go into, and they have actual showers that you can use. So if you've been on the road a lot, like maybe you're taking like a cross-country trip, and you don't want to have to worry about, you know, messing with like a hotel or something, you can actually go there to Buc-ee's, park, go into the bathroom, and just use their shower. And it's a they're nice showers too. There's usually like 5 or 6 of them. And again, they're very private. They have some of them have the sliding doors that you can just slide shut, and they are extraordinarily clean. They actually have people in there cleaning all the time. Like every single time that I have gone there and used the bathroom at Buc-ee's, there are always people in there spraying and cleaning, and they keep them absolutely immaculate. So yeah, they're probably the one place that if I had to stop at like a convenience store to use the bathroom, I would definitely want to stop there. It is pretty dope. It's amazing. They have, like I said, they have some of the cleanest bathrooms. And when you really think about it, like if you're like here in Texas, it doesn't take it's because we're a larger state. Some of these trips that we take, where some people may go from one state to another, we stay in the same state. So our trips here are longer, but it doesn't feel longer. Anyways, but so if we get on the road, like if I take a trip from here to say Austin, which is like a 3-hour trip, I'll probably pass at least a couple of Buc-ee's. One of them being a New Braunfels. And the New Braunfels ones is one of the largest ones. And I actually used to go by there all the time. Remember I had mentioned earlier that I was helping my brother with his business? Well, when I would drive back and forth between here and Austin, I would stop at that Buc-ee's all the time. And I would always get gas. That's another thing they do. Their gas is always super cheap. It's like dirt cheap. Like if the average gas price around the area is like say $3, their gas is like at $2.60. It's ridiculous. But anyways, yeah, they've got the most amazing bathrooms. They pay their employees really, really well. No joke. They actually start their employees, at least some of the locations that I've been at. They actually have these huge signs. They say, "Hey, would you like to join the Buc-ee's team?" And they list all of the wages for each of their job openings, and they're in big, huge letters. It's not like a little piece of paper they stick on a window. It's like a huge thing. And it says right there, it's like even if you're just like starting out like at the front line and you're just barely getting started, starting wage is like $15 all the way up to like $19 an hour. Then if you're like working like one of the areas where they make food, it starts at like $18 all the way to like $25 an hour, that sort of stuff. I mean, they pay really, really well. When does the North get some Buc-ee's? Probably never. But yeah, and here I see Buc-ee's careers apply today. Let me see if they actually have any of the info here, because like I said, I always see it whenever. Yeah, you get PTO, you get 401k, you get insurance. Apply to store. Okay, let me see if they actually have any listings here. Okay, enter job skill. Okay, category. Oh, look, here are the various things: car wash, food service, HR, loss prevention, maintenance, merchandise, operations, store, and okay, let's just go with store, and we'll look in. Yeah, see, there's some in Alabama. Oh wow, there's actually one in Colorado. I didn't know there was one in Colorado. The Florida ones I knew about. The Georgia ones I knew about. I did not know about the ones in Kentucky. North Carolina. Wow, they've actually grown a lot more. Yeah, I mean, because like I said, these are huge in Texas. Like these are all the ones in Texas. The Alvin, Ingleton, Austin. Yeah, the Austin one is big. Bastrop, Baytown, and I've been to a lot of these too. I have been to Brazoria. I've been to the Buda one. Not been to Cypress. Not been to Dallas. Seen the Denton one. Let me see. There's some other ones around here. The San Antonio one. Everybody's been to the San Antonio one. Here's the New Braunfels one. That's the one that I would always stop at. The Luling one is kind of small, but it's still actually really nice. But let's check New Braunfels. Let's see. What other job listings? Oh, here we go. Look, a cashier. Regular old cashier. $16 an hour to start. It comes with medical, dental, and vision insurance. You get 3 weeks paid time off, and then you get 401k match up to 6%. And then it just tells you what you do. You're basically just a cashier. That's all you do. You check people out. $16 an hour. Yeah. Again, it's a fairly easy job. But $16 an hour is pretty darn good, especially here in Texas where wages are a little low on the low side. But yeah, that's actually pretty good. Let me see about another one. Yeah, $16 an hour here in Texas will actually get you a pretty good ways. It also depends where you live, though. If you live in Austin, unfortunately, $16 an hour is not nearly as good as if you lived in, like, say, San Antonio, or maybe on the outskirts of Houston, because Austin is just a very expensive city. Austin and Dallas are very expensive. So if you are outside those areas, then you'll probably get I bet you right now the one in Luling. Let's go to Luling. Luling is kind of like it's kind of like a transit city. Like you just kind of pass, like if you blink, like if you go through Luling, if you blink, you'll miss it. It's a tiny little city. But it has a junction there where several freeways like interstates meet, and one of them is being Interstate 10, which is a major interstate highway. So that's why they put one there at Luling. But let me see here. Oh, look, this one pays even better. Wow, $17 an hour at Luling. Okay, I actually expected that one to be less because Luling is a very small town. It's very, very small. There's maybe like 10,000 people in that town. Unless it's grown. It probably has grown. But that's still really good. $17 an hour. Wow, in Luling. Let me see. Austin, they should. I imagine Austin would probably pay more. Oh, no jobs found in Austin. Okay, great. Well, here, let's just do all for Austin. Really? No one in Austin is hiring. Okay. How about... Let me see. Where's another one that I've been to? Wharton, Waller... Port Lavaca. Pearland, Melissa, Madisonville... Lake Jackson. That's right over by Louisiana. I wouldn't recommend working at this one. Not necessarily because of the store. I'm pretty sure the store's fine, but the people in that area are not very friendly, especially to minorities. I'll just let you kind of figure it out from there. But let's try Katy. Katy is right next to Houston. Let's see. Oh, wow. Assistant Deli Food Service Manager, $31 an hour. That's actually good. That's actually, even if you're a manager, 31 is still good because it's not salary. It's not, they pay you per hour still. So that's actually really good. Loss prevention. It doesn't have a price there. Oh, grocery stocker, $18 an hour. That's really good. Gift and merchandise associate, $16. Janitorial cleaning and maintenance, $18. Cashier, $16. Car wash attendant, $18. Deli food service, $18. Wow, these are really good wages. Yeah, these are excellent wages, man. But yeah, again, cashier. Yeah, these are probably the people that are cleaning the bathrooms. But again, the cool thing about this is you would think, well, you know, who really wants to clean a bathroom? But you have to remember, again, like I mentioned, they clean the bathroom pretty much constantly. So it never has a chance to really get filthy, like nasty filthy. Like I've seen them where somebody will go and they'll use the toilet and they'll finish doing their business, they'll wash their hands and they'll leave, and somebody will immediately, like an employee will immediately go in there and start spraying and scrubbing and stuff. Not like hardcore, but just, you know, quick little once over here and there, just not let stuff build up. And so if you're doing it like that constantly, it's very rare that you're going to walk into like a complete, you know, nightmare of a toilet situation. I'm pretty sure it still happens, but yeah. But yeah, those are actually pretty good rates. And Houston comparatively is not as expensive as Austin or Dallas is. And like I said, Katy is right outside of Houston. Let's actually look at Houston proper. Oh, Houston doesn't even have any. Okay. But yeah, we could do Bastrop. Bastrop's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Grocery stocker, $18. Deli food, $18. Gift merchandise, $16. Yeah, they're all really good. Now, of course, when you pay your employees that well, you kind of have to figure out where that money's coming from, and this is where the money's coming from. Buc-ee's, the stuff that they sell, it's good stuff, but it's not cheap. Like, and this is where I get back to saying, because how did we get to Buc-ee's in the first place? Y'all were talking about barbecue. You had mentioned barbecue, and I was like, oh yeah, barbecue sandwich, and then I thought barbecue sandwich, and I thought Buc-ee's. Because Buc-ee's sells chopped brisket barbecue sandwiches, and they're really good. They're not cheap. They're like $7 or $8, but they're really, really good. And that's why I was saying, well, you know, they're $8 because they, again, pay their employees really well. Not only that, but they have beaver nuggets. You're like, what in the hell's a beaver nugget? Hold on. I know they have a store here. I know they have an online store. I'm trying to see where it is. Yeah, here we go. World's cleanest restrooms. There you go. See? Cleanest restrooms in America. Oh, here we go. I don't know if it'll let me see. Open image, new tab. There you go, beaver nuggets. Those things are actually really good. Again, they're not cheap. I think that bag is like $6 or $7, but they are very good. Brisket sandwich. Oh, it is. It's very, very good. The brisket sandwiches are excellent. Absolutely excellent. Like when I was driving back and forth between here and Austin all the time, it was not unusual for my sister or my mom to say, hey, can you stop by the Buc-ee's and get me some beaver nuggets? And then I would just leave the nuggets like with my brother and they would eventually see them. So yeah, the beaver nuggets are really good. If you're wondering what these are, they're kind of like a sweet and sour, kind of like a puffed sort of dessert, sort of. And they're not, it's weird because they're sweet and they're salty, but they don't really leave like that kind of sticky feeling on your fingers. So that's pretty nice. But yeah, those beaver nuggets are pretty good. Now you can get smaller sizes, but obviously if you get the bigger size, you get more value out of it. So those are the beaver nuggets. Yes, and they do have their own merchandise. They sell a ton of Buc-ee's merchandise, like tons. They sell barbecue pits, of course. There you go. You got a whole thing of them outside. And then, of course, they have... This is just a very small part of their beer section. So you got wine. They even sell wine. They sell beer. They got sodas and stuff. This is just a tiny little portion of it. The one that I went to in New Braunfels, the section, like the cold beverage section, is ridiculously big. It's like stupid big. It's like bigger than a grocery store big. It's just insane. Oh, here's all the world records. The world's largest convenience store. Oh, this is actually a good picture. That's not bad. That's a smaller one, but that actually still looks really good. Yeah, nuts, old faves, imports, wine, beer. Yeah, see, this is actually not bad. This is a smaller one. That store doesn't look familiar to me. I don't know where that is. Let me see. Oh yes, the world's longest car wash. They have the world's longest car wash. No joke. And it was funny because they asked the guy who started Buc-ee's, I guess the CEO or whatever. He was like, yeah, we weren't even thinking, hey, we're going to make the world's longest car wash. We just thought, let's make a really good car wash. And it just turned out that it happened to be the world's longest car wash. And it takes a good 5 minutes to go through the whole thing, which is kind of neat. Let's see. Oh, credit card. Here we go. Find a car wash. Fuel types. Oh, and they also do electric vehicle charging too. Because see, this is a smaller one, isn't it? Oh no, I think this is the New Braunfels one. Yeah, because see, there's the car wash. Here's the actual building, the actual main building, and here's all the gas pumps. See, it's just like a stupid amount of gas pumps. And then I think, let me see, that's car wash. I think on the other side here is where the electric vehicle charging is. But yeah, they've got all kinds of crazy stuff there, man. Dude, beaver nuggets are delicious, dude. They're great. Let's see, here we go, frequently asked questions. Oh, how to become a vendor, Buc-ee's fuel. Oh, how to return that. Okay, this isn't really what I was looking for. News and press, because I know they have an online Buc-ee's store. Let me see. Buc-ee's online store. I could have swore they had a store. I know they have a store. I know they do. I was there like last week. Looking for beaver nuggets. This episode brought to you by Buc-ee's. You ever been to Texas? Well, if you do, come on into Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's. Oh, come on. There has to be a store here. Come on, where is this? Buc-ee's store, shop online. Contact world record, legal contributors. Okay, this is bugging me because I know they have online purchasing. Maybe they do. Oh, I bet they do it through this company. Oh, okay. Well, here's some of the beaver stuff. Okay. Yeah, Bucky's. Well, this is not official Bucky's, but this is the Bucky's products. Yeah, so you can get the smaller ones, but they're a little expensive. Look, 3 ounces for $5.39. That's kind of expensive. And then you get the large bags. That's a little bit better. Lemon crisps. Oh, the beef jerky too. The beef jerky is actually not bad. I've had some of it. It's fine. I wouldn't say it's like amazing. It's not bad. Gummy bears. More beef jerky. Oh yeah, barbecue rub, peanut brittle. Never had the peanut brittle. 5 roasted pepper salsa. Never tried the salsas. I don't eat salsa myself, so I have no clue. Jerky, snacks, rubs, coffee, salsa, pickled and canned goods. Oh, new arrivals. Oh, here's some of the the Bucky's apparel. You'd be surprised how much of this stuff you see around Texas. Even here in Corpus Christi, where we don't have a Bucky's, you'd be surprised how often you see people walking around in Bucky's t-shirts. And they are kind of expensive. Yeah, take a look at this thing. Beaver Believer. Okay. Into Beaver Believer. Okay, admittedly, that's kind of expensive for a t-shirt. I wouldn't pay $30 for a t-shirt. If I did pay $30 for a t-shirt, that cotton better be amazing. Oh, here we go. Here's another one. Purple tie-dye color block shirt. That's a long sleeve. Got some Andy Warhol vibes going there. Still too expensive. Oh, here we go. Stuffed Bucky Beaver. Oh my gosh. That's so weird. Like, I barely put my mouse over it. It's like, hey, how's it going? It just comes right out and it suddenly gets really big. Look, and you. I'm coming for your mama. Sorry. There's a Bucky plush beaver puppet, and oh, here we go. There's a mug. I've seen the mugs. They're kind of neat. What a weird beaver. Oh, I know the story behind the beaver too. It's kind of weird. It has to do with the owner, his mom, and toothpaste. No joke. Apparently, the owner, the original guy that started the very first Bucky's, his mother would call him Beaver when he was a child. It was a nickname for him, so he was called Beaver. And even to this day, some people still call him Beaver. But the idea for the beaver that his mother got was from a toothpaste ad back in like the 50s or 60s or something. And I've seen one of the commercials before. I forget what the name of the toothpaste brand was. It wasn't a well-known brand. But yeah, apparently there was a commercial and they were trying to sell toothpaste, and the mascot for that toothpaste brand was a beaver. So that's where his mother got the idea from. The owner then got nicknamed Beaver, and then he grew up to be a business owner, and he started Bucky's. So that's where the beaver comes from. It's kind of silly. Look, it's a beaver onesie. Oh my god, that is hilarious. I need to get one of these. If it wasn't, consider it. But yeah, there you go. Oh wow, that actually doesn't zip up quite right. Yeah, it doesn't mesh quite centered there. Okay, that's weird. Oh my gosh, that's a onesie. That is hilarious. Oh, it's limited release. Beaver face. Oh, it even has a tail. Oh, it's got the beaver tail. The Bucky's logo. It's full body, and apparently it's crazy awesome. Adult size. they got toddler size. Okay, that's funny. Yeah, there you go. So you can get a onesie with an actual beaver tail on it. That's amazing. That's beautiful. Bucky stickers. Oh, I've seen the Bucky stickers all over the place. Bucky's themed beach towels. They have all sorts of beach towels. Oh, here we got the Texas flag. Tie-dye. Just all kinds of stuff. Oh, burnt peanuts. I've tried those burnt peanuts. They're not bad. Honey toasted pecans. I've not tried their honey toasted pecans, but they do look like they're kind of good. Oh, I'm sorry. The people in the north call them pecans. They're pecan. Here in Texas, we call them pecans. Because that's what they are. Praline pecan. Oh, praline pecan. Okay, we're going to back up here. I'm going to go back to the clothes because the clothing was hilarious. Multicolor throw blanket. Oh, that's a little expensive. $62 for a blanket? I mean, the design's kind of neat, but $62. Yeah, it's a little expensive there, man. Oh my gosh, what is this? Is this a rug? Oh, it's a tapestry throw. Beaver believer love. Okay, this is getting a little out there. 34 by 52. That's a pretty good size. Machine washable. That's actually kind of. That's a little too much for me. I wouldn't even if money wasn't an object, I wouldn't get that. But it's just weird. Oh, look, here we go. The pillow. The Bucky's pillow. Very similar. Oh, oh my gosh, the dog bowls. I forgot they sell they sell pet bowls. Bucky's themed pet bowls. Get the little Bucky's thing right there. And these actually make sense because I've seen many times where, again, I'm just traveling, through and from and stop at a Bucky's, and other people that are traveling, they will travel with their pets. And they don't necessarily think ahead of time sometimes and think, oh, well, I've got to feed this dog and I got to give it water. How are you going to do that? And so they just go into Bucky's and they'll get a little water bowl or something like that for it. It's kind of neat. I would buy one of these bowls. Oh my gosh, look at this bowl. Bring it up. Oh, that actually looks really neat. I would buy that bowl and just eat cereal out of it. That's funny. Yeah, that's what I do with that. Bucky's, Texas. Oh, this is a woman's shirt. It would look like a woman's shirt. Established 1982, Bucky's, Texas, original, the fun store. Okay. What else we got here? Bucky's tour. Yeah, these are all just the various Bucky shirts. Bucky's, Texas. Yeah, their stuff is weird. Why? I mean, why? Why would you not want to eat cereal out of this? Look at this thing. It's beautiful. I would gladly eat cereal out of that, then wash it, and then fill it with water and let my dog drink out of it. It is amazing. Hey, look, you get free shipping on orders over $35. Apparel, let me see, accessories, blog, let me see, camping, home, toys, sleep, personal. Personal? Oh, socks. Oh, look, they even have the beaver face mask. That's actually not a terrible price for a beaver face mask. It would hold so much cereal that it would. Let's see what else here. Tumblers, mugs, Bucky's beavers. Oh, are those the? Oh, okay. Oh, look, it looks like a. Oh, I thought that was a holiday one. Plush Bucky beaver. So, oh, Santa beaver is sold out. Again, the onesie. The onesie is so stupid. Toys, home and house, camping. Oh, okay. I was gonna think there's probably grills and stuff. I would not necessarily go to Bucky's though and buy a grill. I mean, if you're gonna go camping and you're bringing and you're gonna grill, you wouldn't go to Bucky's and buy one. But I guess if yours flies off your trailer during the trip, you can go to Bucky's and get one. But most people wouldn't. A sport cabana? Skin Cancer Foundation. Oh, it's for shade. Okay. Anyway, I think we're done. Enough looking at Bucky's. This show brought to you by Bucky's. I'll see y'all next time. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go take a nap. See y'all later. It was fun. We'll talk about Bucky's next week too.